Welcome to the Idaho Explorer channel. In today's episode, we will drive north on I-15 from Idaho Falls to the Idaho-Montana state line. Idaho Falls sits at an elevation of 4,712 feet. The Idaho Falls Metro has a population of about 92,000, 72,000 of which are in Idaho Falls proper, and 20,000 of which are in Ammon. Idaho Falls has three exits on I-15. Exit 116 at Sunnyside Road, which is at the south end of the city. Exit 118 at Broadway, which leads to downtown Idaho Falls. And exit 119 for US 20 East, which heads northeast to Rexburg, Island Park, and West Yellowstone. This city sign is on Broadway at its junction with I-15 at exit 118. Here are two photos of the Idaho Falls Metro taken from up in the foothills on Sunnyside Road east of town. The first photo shows the north half of the Metro, and the second photo shows the south half. While you're up here, you might want to hike up Peterson Hill, elevation 6,282. This photo shows the summit boulders atop Peterson Hill. A windmill stands nearby. This spot is over 1,500 feet above Idaho Falls. Just below Peterson Hill is Galbraith Hill, elevation 5,890. It has a dirt road leading to its summit area. This hill is almost 1,200 feet above Idaho Falls. And then there are the windmills that sit on the foothills east of the Idaho Falls Metro. Now let's get to the falls that give Idaho Falls its name. The falls are on the Snake River, which cuts through the city and crosses underneath the Broadway Bridge. There is convenient free parking on the north side of the bridge on the west side of the Snake River, as well as a nice pedestrian walkway on the bridge from which to view the falls and from which this photo was taken. Here is a video of the raging falls as viewed from the west side of the Snake River from just above the Broadway Bridge. And this is why they call it Idaho Falls. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel and smashing the like button. That way the YouTube algorithm will show it to more Idaho lovers out there. Thanks very much for your support. Now back to the video. There are two interpretive signs here by the curb along the street, just up from the walking path. This one talks about Taylor's Bridge. Another interpretive sign next to it talks about the Eagle Rock Ferry. Walk a bit farther upstream to find more falls, shown in this video. A little farther upstream, you'll find more waterfalls. Keep going. Here are some more waterfalls. Continue upstream to a final overlook of some magnificent waterfalls. This overlook has three information plaques, all placed by Idaho Falls Power. The first one, shown here, discusses the falls. The second plaque discusses bulb turbine technology. The final plaque discusses the Teton Dam flood. Now here's a video of these extensive, thunderous waterfalls. On your return to the Broadway Bridge, check out these two ivy-covered animals. First, the moose. Then, the ivy-covered grizzly with two cubs. Just downstream from the Broadway Bridge is an old railroad bridge and the hydroelectric dam falls. There's a public park here that provides access via a footbridge to this viewpoint and to the west side of the Snake River near the hydroelectric plant of Idaho Falls Power. And that, my friends, is why Idaho Falls residents pay only 7.6 cents a kilowatt hour instead of the national average of 18.8 cents a kilowatt hour. The power of hydro, baby. Just behind the hydroelectric power plant in that video, you could see the massive Idaho Falls water tower. Here's a good photo of it. It's located in downtown Idaho Falls, just across the street from the power plant. Here is the landmark LDS temple in Idaho Falls as seen from its gated entrance. The temple is located on Memorial Drive, about a half-mile upstream from the Broadway Bridge. While you're in Idaho Falls, you might as well visit the Idaho Falls Zoo and the Museum of Idaho, shown here in two separate photos. Now let's begin the 77-mile drive northward on I-15 to Montana. This highway map shows the pertinent section of I-15 as a green line in the center of the map. From exit 119 in Idaho Falls, drive 9 miles north on I-15 to exit 128 for the Osgood area. We will stop at almost all the exits between Idaho Falls and the Idaho-Montana state line. Just before reaching exit 128, you can see both Shattuck Butte and Bonnie Benchmark on the west side of the highway. Unless otherwise indicated, all of the photos provided in this video are my personal photos. Please consult the Idaho A Climbing Guide website for more details on hiking the buttes and other peaks discussed in this video. The IACG website provides more photos as well as extensive details on driving directions, hiking routes, and private property issues. This is the antenna-clad summit of Shattuck Butte, elevation 5,163 feet. And here is the benchmark atop Shattuck Butte. This is Bonnie Benchmark, elevation 5,272 feet, as viewed from the Jeep Road to its south. And here is the benchmark atop Bonnie Benchmark. Continuing our drive up I-15, we soon encounter this sign warning of low visibility and blowing dust. I-15 is closed at times due to blowing dust in summer and blowing snow in winter. Please be advised. Our next stop is exit 135 at Roberts. This is a photo of Louisville Knolls North, elevation 4,924. The Louisville Knolls are to the east of Roberts and can be reached by a 4-mile drive to 3200E. More driving and hiking details are provided on the IACG website. Please note that I drove to 3200E from US 20 to its east. Here is Louisville Knolls South, elevation 4,912, which is a short distance from Louisville Knolls North. Both of these peaks can be reached by hiking up jeep trails to the summits. From exit 135, drive another 8 miles north on I-15 to exit 143 and Idaho 33. We see almost no water on the I-15 drive to Montana. No rivers, no creeks, no lakes, and no reservoirs are directly along I-15. Let's take a short diversion to visit Mud Lake. Drive about 7 miles west on Idaho 33 to a signed junction with 1800E. There is a sign here for the Mud Lake Wilderness Management Area, WMA. This turnoff provides access to the lake's east and north sides. Drive about 5 miles north, then west, to reach the lake on its east side. You will see this sign at the entrance to the Mud Lake WMA. Here is a map of the Mud Lake WMA to assist you in the drive. It is available online as well. Please note that the map mislabels 1775E as 1755E. This is important because my driving route uses 1775E as well as 1800E to reach the WMA. There is a nice open view of the lake on its east side near a gauging station on a minor open bluff. From the signboard with the Mud Lake WMA map on it at a junction, an unsigned junction, drive about a half mile on a rutted dirt road to reach this viewpoint. Here's what the lake looks like. The bottom of the lake does look pretty muddy, and it's very buggy here. There's also a great view of Mud Lake from its south side at a parking/boating/fishing area. Check out the map. I believe that access point comes up from another sign junction on Idaho 33, farther to the west. This video is taken from the east side of Mud Lake. It pans from the north end of the lake down to the south end and then back to the north end. Let's return to I-15 at exit 143. This is the view looking north from the bridge over I-15. Not very exciting terrain so far, but it will get better as we head farther north. Drive 7 miles north on I-15 to reach exit 150 at Haymuir. And here's the town sign, which is located at the east end of Haymuir. No, it's not pronounced hammer or hamer. It's Haymuir. Haymuir has a population of about 89 and sits at an elevation of 4,803 feet. Here are some silos and a gas station at the east end of town. This is the view of Haymuir as you approach it from I-15. There's a public school on the right and an LDS church in dead center amongst the trees. Haymuir provides good access to the Camas National Wildlife Refuge and the following 5 buttes. This is Camas Butte, elevation 5,138. This is Cedar Butte, elevation 5,3 383. This is Clay Butte, elevation 4,875. This is Needle Butte, elevation 5,025. This is Table Butte, elevation 5,235. Please refer to the IACG website for driving and hiking details for each of these buttes. Our next stop on I-15 is exit 167 at Dubois. You'll see this cowboy sign just before reaching the exit. The town of Dubois is named after Idaho State Senator Fred Dubois, who rejected the correct French pronunciation of his last name, which would be Dubois. Should we also start mispronouncing hors d'oeuvres as horse duvers? Just saying. Here's the unofficial Dubois welcome sign on an old abandoned building on Main Street. Dubois has a population of about 523 and sits at an elevation of 5,148 feet. This photo is of Main Street in Dubois, looking west from its east end where the road turns sharply south. If you look in the distance, you can see the bridge that crosses I-15. Here's a photo of the colorful Frederickson Ranch house owned by the University of Idaho. You'll see it where Main Street turns from heading east to heading south in Dubois. This is a sign at the critical junction with the road that leads to Kilgore and the Centennial Mountains. This well-maintained county road continues on to Island Park and US 20. This junction is at East 2nd South Street in Dubois and has a street sign as well as a sign for Kilgore and Yellowstone National Park. That sign is somewhat hidden by tree limbs. You reach this junction by staying on Main Street in Dubois as it heads east and then turns south to reach this junction. And this, my friends, is the most important building in Dubois. It's at the rest area, the only rest area in the 77-mile drive from Idaho Falls to the Montana state line. Dubois provides good access to both the South Beaverheads to the west and the Centennial Mountains to the east. Head west from Dubois on Idaho 22 to reach Medicine Lodge Road in about 6 miles. This well-maintained county road heads north to many peaks in the South Beaverheads, including Red Conglomerate Peak South, elevation 10,245, Cobble Mountain, elevation 9,995, and Horse Mountain, elevation 8,842. Let's continue driving north on I-15. 5 miles north of Dubois, at exit 172, a ranch exit, you have access to Lone Butte, elevation 5,406. This photo shows the summit rocks that are on top of Lone Butte. Please consult the IACG website for more details on this hike. At exit 180, we reach the hamlet of Spencer, Idaho. Spencer is the opal capital of America, but it is not the opal capital of the world. That designation goes to the Coober Pedy mining area in Australia. Spencer has a population of 28 and sits at an elevation of 5,978 feet. You can buy your local opal at Hot Rock Gems in Spencer if you wish. From Spencer, you can easily access Beacon Hill, elevation 6,740, the sagebrush summit of which is shown in this photo. This photo shows the sagebrush summit of Opal Mountain, elevation 219, which is also readily accessible from Spencer. Please consult the IACG website for more details on both Beacon Hill and Opal Mountain. Continuing our journey northward on I-15, we reach exit 184 for the Stoddard Campground in 4 miles. This beautiful shaded campground sits only half a mile west of I-15 and is well shielded from the traffic noise. It is a magnificent Forest Service campground and is well maintained. It's suitable for both tent camping as well as for large RVs. This photo shows the semi-forested foothills on the east side of I-15 off in the distance. This photo is taken from the Stoddard Campground Road. You can see just a sliver of I-15 there in the center of the photo, but you can't hear any of the traffic noise from here. There are 2 nice peaks that are accessible from exit 184. The first one is Peak 7340, unofficially called Dairy Creek Peak. This photo shows the snow-covered summit boulders on the chilly spring morning that I reached the top. The second peak is Picnic Benchmark, elevation 7547. This photo shows the frosty summit of Picnic Benchmark on a cold spring morning when I climbed the peak. This photo shows the actual benchmark atop Picnic Benchmark. Please refer to the IACG website for more detailed driving directions and hiking information for both Peak 7340 and Picnic Benchmark. Let's continue northward on I-15 from exit 184. At virtual mile marker 188.5, there's a nice pullout on the southbound side of the interstate that provides this view of the South Beaverheads. At exit 190 at Humphrey, you have this view of the Centennial Mountains to the east. Exit 190 provides easy access to 2 nearby peaks. The first peak is Knoll Benchmark, elevation 7,464. It is the hump shown in this photo in the distance. This photo shows the gentle summit of Knoll Benchmark, also known simply as Knoll. There are some triangulation posts laying on the ground, as well as a small summit cairn. Paul Benchmark, shown in this photo, is the second peak accessible from exit 190. Paul Benchmark has an elevation of 8,538. Both Knoll Benchmark and Paul Benchmark are located in the South Beaverheads. Please consult the IACG website for specific driving directions and route details. Continue up I-15 for 6 more miles to reach Monida Pass, the Continental Divide, and the Idaho-Montana state line. Monida Pass sits at an elevation of 6,870 feet. If we look east from Monida Pass, we see the gentle hills that are the western terminus of the Centennial Mountains. If we look west from Monida Pass, we see the rugged Beaverhead Mountains. This is Monida, Montana, and exit 0 in Montana. This is our turnaround exit. How handy. It provides access to the north side of the Centennial Mountains via a Forest Service road. Upon re-entering Idaho to return south on I-15, we quickly encounter the rather mediocre Idaho welcome sign along the highway. This concludes today's adventure. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like and subscribe buttons. Feel free to leave a comment if you've done some interesting driving or hiking in the state of Idaho. Stay tuned for more videos on the Idaho Explorer channel. Thanks very much for your support.